Blah, 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 blah. Smiles, everyone. Smiles. Smiles, everyone. Hello and welcome. Good morning. Hi, everybody. It's Kim Overholt here at Kim Overholt Art and Entertainment Studios, where I am having a great day. I know it's early. It's early, and I'm up early. You know what? Today is my last day of freedom. Yes, tomorrow I have to go to work early. I have a job that I usually do, and I've been enjoying my time just being able to have time to be able to talk to you guys and hang out and show you some more art that I've been doing. Yes, guess what I'm working on now? Yes. I decided, I wanted to do a Mick Jagger, but I wasn't sure which one to pick from, like a young version of him, or should I do like an older version of him, like now, or should I get like something in between? Like this is how well, it's not completely done yet. I just got the basic, I got the basic look of it started. I'm going to continue, but I wanted to just give you a heads up on what I'm working on. And yeah, I just kind of like decided when I was younger, when he started getting popular with MTV and like the 80s and all that stuff. That's when I kind of watched him. He was getting older. I think he was in his 40s already. I'm thinking because yeah, it was already like we're like, whoa, they're making a comeback, and it's like now it's like they're still on, and it's like, whoa, they're making a comeback. It's not been a comeback. They've always been around, and it's good to see that their music has spanned decades and generations, which is kind of cool. There's some kids nowadays that rock out to some of their stuff and some of the young stuff. Yeah, I mean older stuff, which would be when they were younger, is still as pertinent even today. Oh, here I got something to drink. I finished drinking my coffee this morning. I can only be allowed like a couple cups, or I'm like bouncing off the walls constantly. So, cheers. Here's to it, and from it, and to it again, because we never know when we'll be here to do it again. So, cheers. Especially if you've been watching Suspicious Observers. If you're a suspicious observer like me, you start to realize that there's something going on with the planets, of course, and everything's kind of speeding up and changing. And, like I say, that Mayan calendar where they said, it's supposed to be something happening in 2012. I think they got the number switched. I think it was actually supposed to be 2021, which means like something interesting is going to be happening in the next little while. I know that I was just watching Suspicious Observers, and they say that we're going to be losing time, which isn't going to like we're not going to notice it, but to the Earth it might make a bit of a difference. So it'd be kind of interesting. Yes, yeah, it's interesting how they can kind of switch things around. Um, yeah, I do think things are cyclical too, because the more that I watch Suspicious Observers, and I do have their book of on the magnetic fields and stuff like that, and we have no clue what's going to happen next, but it's kind of interesting how things happen in a pattern. There's lots of patterns in this world, almost like fractals. That's one thing that I really dig is fractals. I don't know if you guys ever find out about what fractals are, but it's really interesting. Part of the reason I love cauliflower is like one of the biggest fractals that you can actually eat. Cheers. There we go. Yeah, I splashed myself. Oh, wake up, wake up, wake up. Yeah, I was like, it's Friday. Let the festivities commence. I know usually it's supposed to lead up to the weekend, and the weekend's supposed to be like, woo, weekend. But now it's like, uh, every day's a weekend, right? Every day's a weekend. It doesn't really matter. Some people are still at home since this whole thing started. Can you imagine that? That there are still people that are like sitting at home still waiting for this thing to just I don't know. And who knows what's going to happen next. Like I say, it's up in the air. We'll find out soon enough. Right. Okay. So, like I say, I have this nice Mick Jagger painting that it's a finger painting again. I did it with a nice finger painting. I was just mapping out all the different areas, making sure that it's lining up correctly. Sometimes when I do these, almost like with a photograph, you kind of see how things are looking, right? You make sure that things you can see them. definitely in that. You can tell that it's him. But I got to work on this other side here to kind of fix this up a little bit. And as you can tell, he's not looking way over there. He's actually looking like more towards you. He's looking at you. This one, my eyeball's like all over the place. Look like he's looking down and weird sideways looking, but he's not. Let me show you. I'm gonna take a little bit. So I'll start with the light color. Start with the light blue, and then afterwards, what I'm going to do is I might add a second color. Like this might not be monochrome. Last few ones I've been doing have a few like just one color in them, which is like monochrome. That's what monochrome is about. But and I might add actually a little bit more white and stuff. So I might add some tints and tones into it too. So and it's not completely. It's like this is like a mid range if I have to say anything. So let me just kind of go over this here. Because this is where his eye is. This is not that's not how the eyelid goes. It goes a little bit kind of down a little bit and across this way. Some people have the ability to not have to look at a photograph, but it helps me to look at the actual picture too while I'm doing this. Okay, so let's come across down here and yeah. Ooh. Than just one finger I can use. So if I make a boo-boo like that, well, it's not major boo-boo, I can go back over it with some black and cover that back over. So that's okay. No mistakes in art, only wonderful discoveries. Something like that. Oh, thank you. I used to follow Bob Ross, and whenever I used to do a paint night, I always used to use quotes from Bob Ross. Have you ever watched Bob Ross? I always tell people if you want to know anything about how to paint, watch Bob Ross. He's great. And if you ever have trouble sleeping at night, watch Bob Ross because he'll help you fall asleep too. He's got one of those voices. He's actually really quite soothing to watch and puts people to sleep. Like his tone is actually one of those things that if you listen to him long enough, you'd be like, he talks about squirrels. He talks about, oh yeah, you know what? Right after I'd watch all the Saturday morning cartoons, I'd be like, okay, what else can I watch? Oh, something about art. So I'd watch Bob Ross on like a public television station, and I'd be like, why does he keep repeating himself? He does the same picture over and over. First he makes the background, then he makes the mountain, and then he makes a blah, blah, blah. And then I realized when I started doing paint nights, it's like, that's the sequence that you have to do things in to be able to have it come out correctly. If you decide to if you start with just the main thing, just go for the eye. And I remember when I first started drawing, I used to draw like really good detail of the eye, and then I'd start the rest of the face like they show on the and it would just turn out all warped and everything. And I'm like, well, where am I going wrong? Some people actually have to plot everything out before they do their drawing, where some people have it just in their minds. Like some people can just draw right off the bat. I have a friend who can he has it in his head. He says he lets the pencil kind of be his um, mirror to what he's looking at in his mind and be able to put it down on the paper. And it's like he's amazing, an amazing artist. If you ever want to see some great art, some fan art, his name's Jamie Pruden, and he's based out of Alberta, I believe. Is it Alberta or Manitoba? I can't remember. I'm terrible with this stuff. Anyways, I think it's Alberta. You should see some if you love like Star Wars, Star Trek. If you love any kind of fan art, he has it. He does like he knows a face like the back of his hand. He can just draw it like nothing. I asked him sometimes, can you look from a photograph? And he says, no, I use my imagination. I'm like, I've been trying so hard forever just to use my imagination, but I do find that if I look at a picture that's kind of something in my mind, I can make my own kind of look to make it look like something. So obviously, like when I'm doing this Mick Jagger, it's going to look like Mick Jagger, but it's going to have my own style to it as well. So as though I'm looking at the photograph, but it's also mine. So it's not, it's something I see in my head as what I want it to look like, but it's actually like I use for reference the actual photograph so that I can make sure that my lighting is correct, make sure that my angles are correct, because sometimes even when you start doing a face, you think of it as like, different proportions and things, and you don't think of angles, like you don't think of what the difference between like the chin's further closer to you now and my forehead's over here, then when I'm done like this and my forehead's closer to you now and then my chin, like you take that all into account when you do a face, because you still have to keep those angles when you do it as well. That's what sometimes I have an issue with. So if somebody's got an angle like this, I have made people with at that angle, but with their faces like straight, so it actually skews the whole face. And you have to kind of tell yourself, like, look at the picture, look at it, like, don't think you know it. Pretend like you don't know it. You've never seen it before, and this is what it really looks like. And you find that you can kind of, when I started doing this picture, I didn't want to start with the face this time. When I started doing this, I actually started with plotting where the body is going to go on the actual canvas, and then adding the face to it. And I just did like the outline first. So I started with just all this in the background, and then I started doing his body in there, and then I started on his face. The last thing I was working on before I closed it the other day, yesterday, was working on his face. So now that I come back to it, it's like it's the first thing I can work on, and I can concentrate on just working on his face now that everything else is kind of in the proportion that I want it to be. And then I can think about adding a second color. Isn't that great? And it's a whole process. So this whole channel is for people to learn and kind of get ideas from. So that's kind of another way of the way I plot things out too. So what may work for one person may not work for another, but I seem to find this is what kind of works a little bit better for me. And maybe it might work for you if you're having issues with something that you do, and maybe it's just a matter of changing your perspective. There's a thing too. Don't ever. I always say if here's the thing I say too. I'm always saying like life's what you make it, and I always say too that if you find that your dreams are becoming a lot more uh, your dreams become a lot more vivid, and you find you want to go back to sleep and dream more than you want to be in your waking world, then I think there's a problem in your waking world that you have to address. And that's where you have to keep in mind that life is this reality that we have. This is what we have, and this is what we have until we die. We have to make it the best that we have. And you learn that too when you learn to when you miss people that have passed on to the other world. You miss them too, and you wish the days would come that you could, like, and that's the great thing too about doing paintings too, about even people that have passed on. I've done pictures of like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I have my own picture of Stevie Ray Vaughan just for me, and it's something that I keep as a reminder of things that I love. And like I also have pictures of like Jimi Hendrix, and pictures of BB King. I have an Eddie Van Halen. And I love music. And it's funny thing because I'd never played until like about 5-6 years ago. I love singing and stuff like that, but I'm not like an A-class singer. I'm like, when I get my band started, I'm starting my band when I get 60. So, and that's the other thing. I've got to have my band going. I'm going to be selling my art at the same time, and then, like, people who can dig me, dig my art, and dig my music too at the same time. So there's reasons behind everything that I'm doing here, and I'm hoping everything turns out to the way I plan. You have to plan ahead, and you have to think of the good things, not the bad things. And what's going on right now? I mean, like I say, this is your reality. If you find that there's something going on in your reality that it needs fixing, you better do something about it. Even I ask the great cosmos is like, what more can I do? What more can I do? I'm doing everything that I possibly can. What more can I do? And I keep trying, right? You got to keep going. And I say, like I say, on Suspicious Observers, I'm like, bring it on. Because, I'm excited to find out. I usually say I'm excited and trepidatious because you never know. Yeah, too many great things coming along the way. Yeah. Thank you, Daniel, for popping in too. And I'm glad you're liking this so far. I'm glad. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to add a second color to there, and I don't know what I was thinking of something. Yeah, that's it. That's what I say. That's what they say for suspicious observers. Eyes open, no fear, and be safe. Be safe, of course. Uh, when I used to go rock climbing, I used to take the utmost safety precautions. We make sure everything was tied off properly. We make sure that all of our clips were strong holds. Make sure that we had strong holds to hold on to too. Some places that we used to go climbing used to have shale rock where you had to be careful. If you pulled too hard on the rock, you could actually pull it right off of where you were climbing, and you could have an accident. You could fall, but if you weren't strapped in and you didn't have your lines properly, we never had anything like that happen. So we were always very lucky when we went rock climbing. My hubby and I. He doesn't like to talk. He doesn't like me talking about him too often, so I don't. and but he's like the yin and yang of me, right? Where I'm usually calm, he's always excited. Where I'm pretty lucid, he's very uptight and he wants to get things done, and I'm like, okay, we'll get things done. Just relax. And he's like, I can't relax, I can't relax. Right now, he's a painter, and he's got he's a really good painter, but he's older too. It's not going to last him forever, so he's got to try and figure out what's he going to do with the rest of his life as well. So he's a great. He helped me with my website. He's a great graphic artist too. But as you can tell, in this area, there isn't very much of a call for graphic artists. So we do what we can at home at the moment, right? I mean, if anybody wants to contact me and wants any art, you're more than welcome to contact me. Hey, I've got no projects right now on the go, and it is coming to Valentine's Day. And if you want, it's getting a little bit late there. I'm going to add some dark in there. It's a good thing too about doing light and shadow is like you can always, if you make too light, you can always go back over it and make it a little bit. Darker, which I might be doing. I might have to go over a few things. Yeah, that's okay. It went a little too much. That's okay. Go back over that again. Light and shadow, light and shadow. Make sure you got it going on here correctly. It's got sideburns. It's got some sideburns going on too. Can't really see them here, but maybe on the side here. Go back over it again with some dark, so I can make some light spots and dark spots there. Just here, kind of falls over to one side. There we go. Isn't that looking cool? I love it. Yeah. If you ever want, like I say, my usual is an 18 by 24, $250. See, it's really easy. And as long as you aren't worried about time limits, if you have a certain time limit, that's even better. Because I usually work better when I have a due date that I have to kind of aim for. When I don't, I kind of like it'll kind of come out when I can let it kind of when I get the feel for it, kind of thing. I was working on something for a friend of mine, and yeah, it took a little bit longer than I expected, but she said take your time with it. So I kind of like it goes through my process. It works in my head, and I sit and look at the canvas and look at the canvas, and then it comes to me. And then sometimes I have like instances where it's just like, bam, I have no problem. All of a sudden, it's just like, I know what I'm doing. Okay, got to get the canvas going, and here we go, right? So it works all different ways. Yeah, it's an interesting process when you start doing painting and things like that. Even sometimes I'm like looking at my stuff, going, "Did I do that? Really? Oh my God, that's awesome!" Like, whoa, how did I do that? I'm like, hey, well, you get it, right? You get it sometimes, and it comes to you, and then sometimes it's like you doing it, and then it just goes. You do, yeah. There's days where I'm like, it's tough. It's tough sometimes. But this one's actually been not too bad, and I have it's still going nicely. Um, Working on the hands, maybe I can work this a little bit over here. I see that I'm coming a little bit too close to the edge. Let me just check my picture. Now, usually, I go by proportions. So now I'm going to switch over to black. So usually I check out like when I go for proportions to make sure what I'm doing. So I'm going back over that one spot right here. Because he does have, his arms aren't actually very big. He doesn't have big arms. Because who needs to work out when you're actually a singer? He can do what you want. He can sing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to have big arms. God says he's the potter. The potsy mix doesn't work, so he tries again. Yeah, hey, that's right. Oh, you know what? I love doing. Back in the day when in high school when we took pottery, I loved spinning, making that nice vase shapes. And then you can build them up, build them up, build them up, and then you take your hand and then you go like that, and you make the inside come out, and then you build it back up again. And oh, I love stuff like that. That's it. And yeah, that's the same thing with this. It is almost like you're making something, and you can go back over it again and put it to proper proportions. It may take a little bit of fixing again, but at least you've got things looking right. And I know that things are looking right on this picture. And this first comes over here. That it goes right across there. It goes across that right there. You see, there we go. And we know his arms are crossed and folded. This is actually like the wrinkles of the leather of his jacket. Well, I don't think it's leather. It looks more like leather because it's the 80s. I think this is an 80s Jagger. If I'm not mistaken, this may be an 80s Jagger. It could be a 70s Jagger. I don't know. Uh, it's like he's an ageless, it's like those stories that they used to tell about Mick Jagger about him making pacts with the devil and blah blah blah. That's part of the reason why I never really listened to. I was a good girl. I was scared of things like the devil, and I never really listened to the Rolling Stones because they were bad. They were the bad guys. I listened to the Beatles. Beatles were the good guys. But yeah. Oh, the crossroads. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you a story of the crossroads, my friend. I had a dream one time. I had a couple dreams, which is really cool, and I still don't let them drop because it's still something that could be fruitful for my musical career in the future. It has to do with the crossroads too. So I had this dream, and it was so lucid. It was almost like I was there. It was like one of those things that one of those dreams where you can see it's early morning and the sun's just coming up, and I'm walking down. Walking down a dirt road. Okay. Uh, and like there's wheat or long grasses on either side. I think I'm like in some kind of like if you've ever watched Shawshank Redemption, or if you've ever seen that one scene from Robin Hood with that big long uh, 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 with a big, huge tree and the big, large stone wall in the path and everything, and those large grasses. And he's walking down that road, heading towards that area. But so I'm walking down this road, and I'm wearing my favorite shoes back in the time when it was going on. I had these awesome shoes I used to wear during karaoke. And I used to, yeah, I used to sing, like, I don't know if I sang the blues or not, but I used to sing quite a bit. And yeah, so I had my favorite shoes on, and I'm walking down, and I'm getting towards the crossroads, and I'm looking, and there's like I can see like the dew on the grass, or on the leaves of the tree, and I can see like the dew on the grasses as they're coming up, and like I say, I hear this cart, a horse-drawn cart coming past, and as they're passing, it's like it's so vivid. Like there's a family of like a colored family, and they're all on this wagon, and it looks like I'm back in the 18th century, and yeah, and then they're walking, they're walking past, and I'm like trying to talk to them, but they can't see me. They can't see me. They can't hear me. It's like, and I'm looking around, and it looks like, it looked like it just rained previously. So it's like these, like you see the dew, but there's like rain from an early rainfall, and there's puddles on the ground. And then I'm looking down at my shoes, and I can see that I've stepped in a big puddle of mud, and um, I'm realizing that all of a sudden I'm sinking into this big puddle of mud, and these people that are going by on the cart, I'm realizing, like, I'm sinking, and I'm at the crossroads, and I'm looking at these people, and I'm saying, hey, can you like help me, get maybe help me with my and it's one of those things. I wake up and I'm like, wow, it's like that, the line from the crossroads. I'm standing at the crossroads. I believe I'm sinking down, and where they say, like, they're trying. He calls for people, and nobody pays attention. Nobody's looking at him. He's at the crossroads. I'm like, wow, what a wicked dream that was. And yeah, but it was so vivid. Like I say, I can still recall it. It's just amazing how even one time when I got concussed. I I the only reason that I woke up from a concussion, I was actually having a dream that I was riding on my bike. I had an accident. I fell off my bike, but in my dream, I'm still on my bike, and I'm still riding, and there's nothing going on. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I was with a whole bunch of people when this happened. And then I woke up and realized where I was, and I was knocked out, and I was in this one. See, so your brain creates so many great and wonderful things, and it's incredible. The expanse of the human mind. I can tell you so many stories. Oh man, so many stories. 'Cause even with my mom having her stroke, um, the things that happened with her just being how she was. There's so many stories I could tell you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm just a font of information. If you were ever curious about that life, here it is. It's like some things you don't forget, and some people you don't forget either. I still miss my mom, like forever. I miss my mom, but that's another story. That's another story too. This hair, kind of straggly hair that he has coming down on the side here. It's not as easy to do when you're using your fingers, but sometimes you can end up doing it just with the corner of your finger. You can make little swoopies, and yeah, and it works sometimes. It's coming along. Mhm. Yeah. You know what? I wanted to start looking for pictures that appeal to me. I don't care like when I do these. Now I want ones that when I look at them, they'll look back at me and go, yeah, yeah. And oh, I think I'm gonna work on his lips a little bit here too. Yeah, his lips are actually looking pretty good. They got a pretty good start on that. Yeah. Let me change over to the light blue again, and dab a little bit more on his lips there. You see? You see that? You see how you do that? Oh, there's it there, the little there. Here, I'll show you. Hold on a second. Let me show you. Look at, see? Yeah. Okay, there we go. It's coming. Is my phone going off? Oh, and this other dream I had about BB King. Oh my God. Okay. So I took a year about learning how to play guitar. I wanted to learn how to play guitar, okay? I really wish I could play guitar, but I play ukulele, okay? I play ukulele. Ukulele is so much easier than playing guitar for me, okay? Small hands, smell like cabbage, you know. um, yeah, carny folk. Me being, carny folk, we have small hands and works better when we play ukulele. It's hilarious. But anyways, the dream I had is when I started learning how to play guitar, and I was at this nightclub, and this is the dream that I had. I was at this nightclub, and I was watching BB King. I was watching BB King play, and he's like, like that BB King. You can hear it. And then he gets on the microphone and he says, I want to bring up somebody from the audience that she's been practicing a long time, and she's got a new song out called the Beginner Guitar Blues. And I'm like, and then he says my name, and I'm like, one of those things. And so, yeah, I remember my blue guitar. I had my blue guitar at the time that had the little with the pickups and everything. I had a beautiful guitar, and I sold it. I don't know why. Probably because I gave up thinking that I could play, and just gave it up and said, yeah, whatever. I'll keep painting, right? But now I have ukulele. I play. But yeah, so this yeah, I got up with my guitar, and I'm like playing some really bad bad little blues riffies, and people are just digging it, and I'm like. I can't believe this is actually happening. And you know what? And later on, when I started doing paint nights and things like that, I had that feeling all over again, especially when I played this one place. It was called the 4555. A 4555, it's like you got a stage, and then you have like these little bars that are kind of all like that stretch out where people would come and watch bands play, and you could sit at the bar. Well, you could stand and drink and have like a bar to put your drink down on while you were watching the band play, right? So I had all these canvases, easels all set up on these bars now, and had people all these with all these canvases, and oh, I had pictures of the 4555 where 45 to 50 people, sold out events, and everybody times. And I do it again, definitely. If it wasn't for the stupid COVID thing going on, I would be out there, and I'd be I'd probably be ruining my liver right now. So maybe I'm doing a good thing by not going by having this COVID going on, and showing you this instead. And I'm glad I got a handle on it first. Like when I stopped doing paint nights and just wanted to do my own thing, I started doing live Facebook, or not well, yeah, I did some live Facebook, but I also did some live YouTube, like I'm doing now. But they used to be those short sequences that used to get like my internet used to cut out all the time, so I had to be quick about it. So, and now now I got like my internet is beautiful, perfect. I can talk to you for now 35 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to keep you showing you something really cool and telling you stories, and not getting paint on me anymore, which is really great. But I do have my apron nearby should I ever try and make a mess out of myself. And I've been lucky enough that I don't. So thank you, Daniel. That's excellent. All right. So yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. This the stories, the dreams that I have, and they are so cool. But that's why it when I was doing paint nights, it was like this is my waking dream. This is my waking dream. Like this is friggin' awesome. Yeah, and yeah, I would swear, but you know what? Sometimes I don't want to swear. Yeah, but it's friggin' awesome. So I so enjoyed doing that. That was always like something that I would continue doing once this whole COVID thing is over. I can't wait to see everybody coming out and painting with me again. I'm really hoping you guys will, because I really enjoy doing this, and I really enjoy like the things I used to say to people, and people would tell me stories too, and it was amazing. And I would do birthdays, and I would play ukulele for people, and it was awesome. It was a good time, having a good time. You know what the thing is? People don't want to have. They want to stop you from having a good time nowadays, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would you want to stop people from having fun and talking to each other? It blows my mind. When I started wearing the mask, it's like I didn't have to wear the mask right away. At first, it was just I was wearing the mask uh, when I was outside of my little cubicle area. But then all of a sudden, they started saying you had to wear it all the time, and it's like, well, that's kind of stupid, because masks don't work to begin with. Because if they did work, why are we still having these issues? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just you know what? I went to school, and I do research, and I did a lot of research of biology when I was young. Even like I was telling my husband, I wasn't good at biology in school, but I did have an interest in it. And when I used to go to the library, I used to look up all kinds of things in books and things like that, and in biology. And one thing that really interested me too was chemical and biological warfare, and they don't talk about that in school. And so I had to go looking up stuff like that on chemical and biological warfare. And it's really interesting the things that have been occurring. It makes you think that maybe they're trying something out on us, and I don't know. I don't know. I sometimes think that, well, ever since I was born, I always thought I was a human guinea pig. Anyways, you ever had that experience? Um, I guess because I was born to a woman who had a stroke at 28, and like I say, when I have things about. Uh, maybe she had me just because maybe they thought it was going to help her with her stroke, maybe get over her stroke for some reason, but it didn't. It got me instead. And here I am. I don't know if I'm meant to be here or not, but I'm meant to be here. And I have a bone to pick. That's why people always say, oh, why are you always like, bring it on, bring it on? I'm like, yeah, bring it on. Because you know what? Ever since I was 14 years old in the 80s, as if you guys can know, I've been waiting for they keep on saying it's gonna there's something big's gonna happen. I've been waiting for this big thing to happen, and yeah, considering us being a big experiment ever since like 1984 is like I would they've gone. Be careful who you pick your bone with. Yeah, that's true. I know it's philosophy, and people can talk about it, and there's all kinds of evidence and all kinds of things that yeah, it all depends on who you talk to. It's for sure. I mean, even if you think of faith, faith is one big experiment too. We just keep trying, and just keep going and hope for the best. And but some people believe in the fates too, and eventually we're headed towards something that maybe can be good, maybe can be bad. You know, the whole philosophies of doing a painting while you're painting is all the stuff that goes through your head while you're painting too. And yeah, these are the things that I think about too while I'm looking at a painting as well. Besides thinking of, well, I've usually got the music playing, so I'm usually listening to like I'd be listening to some Stones, obviously. Yeah, I have a bone to pick with my creator, and they know it. So yeah. When I do the eyes, I have to be so careful. see, I have to fix that a little bit there. That's looking good, but I have to fix that there, and it's got a little bit. Oh, okay. It's there. Yeah, that there, okay. And sounds like my computer is doing something in the background. Mm-hmm. There. Nostril. Gotta make the nostrils. Is that right? Does that look right? Kinda. Kinda right. So it's also look this way. So it's like that. And the other one is like la 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 la. Kind of over here. The thing about when you're doing it with your fingers, sometimes you get. I may have to go over this again. Maybe I have to go over it one more time. Just play with it a little bit. But it's getting there. It's getting there. The details are always like what do they say? The devil's in the details, right? Devil's in the details. Okay, more like that. Okay. Yeah, right now I'm thinking of the Angie song. I like that song by the Rolling Stones. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah. We do have a tendency to judge a lot of things. And that's one thing that I thank God for is having an open mind. I can see other people's sides. I can understand what people are saying. Doesn't mean that I agree, but I can understand. I'm not like my mind is not closed on the idea. There are so many philosophies you can talk about, and so many different things that I'm just peeling the paint off my fingers. Like after a while, it can kind of stick on and stuff. So peel it off so I can get a nice. Yeah, yeah. You know what? And that's the thing about life, eh? Yeah, and you know what? These last couple of years with the whole COVID and this all going on, and the whole study of just celebrities themselves is a show on how much uh, well, just fame itself. I can say, some of these people um, have been influenced maybe a lot by a lot of wrong things, but a lot of good things, but a lot of bad things too. And it's like it's something your brain in life you have to kind of figure it out for yourself. What's good, what's bad. I think that's the problem sometimes. The problem is I think, and more of knowing what the actual truth is what people should really be going for, because truth and what people think are like two different things too. So you see it kind of, yeah. Like I'd love to believe that there's a Santa Claus. I like to believe that there are like leprechauns at St. Patrick's Day, and I was a clown, so I love to make believe. The fact of make believe sometimes makes life a little bit more worth living, because you can kind of give people a little bit of a funny thought to go through the head. Well, what if? What if? And sometimes, like these people that are celebrities, you hope that what if they were just like normal people? What if they could just embrace things like normal people do? Some celebrities have no clue. Some celebrities can. Some celebrities do. It's. But one thing that I've learned is like nice to look at. Anyways, yeah, I found that if you're trying to find any of them, it makes it a little bit harder to try and find them. But don't go looking. Don't go looking. They got too much going on. They really do have too much going on. All right. There you go. Just a little bit, make it a little bit darker in spots. How's it looking? See, I always like to, when I'm doing this, I'm actually looking in reverse too. So if it looks, the proportion looks all right, I'm doing okay. I got to make his eyes a little bit. Yeah, I'm working on his eyes here. It's rough, but I'm getting better. Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, they kind of look. That greatest celebrity looks almost just like us, and he'd make you wonder. Well, why don't you keep trying to make yourself as good as that celebrity? That's the biggest celebrity you're ever going to know, right? I know. I always say, I'm waiting on the Lord. That's definitely, yeah, because that's who I'm waiting on, and he's definitely one that I'd probably, yeah. As I do, like I always say, Psalm 27 is my psalm. It's like, bring it on. Bring it on. Don't be afraid. What do you have to fear, really? And if he's a celebrity that understands people, he'll understand. Or she'll understand. Or whoever it is will understand. Here we go. Oh, oh, eyelash. Ah, look. Eyelash. I hate when that happens. A little water. So I'm taking my secret weapon because, as I told you before, water removes paint. We put a little bit on my plate. What I'm going to do is just smooth that back in. Because it's not a lot. Don't get other paint on there either. Oh, water. There we go. Almost. Almost had an oopsie. All right, it's coming along nicely, and it's looking like, a little more. Let me make this hold up a little bit. A little more darker. Oh, hey, no, I didn't get striped the last time. That's kind of a good thing. Um, no, for doing Miles Davis, no, they didn't say anything, and I'm surprised. I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, when you're talking about doing, you've mentioned their names. I imagine that probably puts a strike on you right there as soon as they know, like, hey. But no, nobody said anything about having Miles Davis on there. And I heard about Chick Corea. That's sad. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not a big Chick Corea fan as much as I was, some of the other ones, like say Miles Davis or. I used to listen to weather reports, so I used to like things like David Sanborn is like stuff I like the jazzy kind of like saxophone, and I also like oh gosh, there's so many different ones I can mention. Herbie Hancock, of course, is one of the ones I like to listen to as well. I like the Stones, but like I say, when I was a kid, they never really were big in my book. I kind of was a little bit frightened of them just because I heard they were bad. I didn't really, but their music is actually very pertinent for the times, obviously, and that's probably why people won't put that little thing in that they were a bad group, because they put songs out like about revolution and why are people a little bit more paying attention to what's going on around them? Why are they allowing things to happen to them when they obviously have a say? They have a right to say. Everybody has a right to speak their minds. At least we used to. Working on the nose a little bit. It's kind of a, have to look at angles too. I see it now. Like that. And then this comes over here. Like this. Oh, and it goes da, da, here. Okay. It's all about just keeping a mind on your angles. So it goes like this. It goes like there. There. It comes down like that. That's got to go around here. That's okay. I'll leave that for a second. It goes like a little bit. That. Yeah. And then with that, a little bit of a curve right there. And like that. Angles. There we go. Almost got it. Yes, life is a journey, not a destination. Definitely, and it's what you make it too. And that's why I've always said ever since, it's what you make it. So if you find that your if your dreams are getting, like I say, better than your waking, maybe there's something you got to change. Because I mean, um, even like just recently, um, even like to say November, December, January. So even like 3 months ago, I things that I can recall with a little bit of. I'm kind of glad nobody knows about it, but it's something that's mine. It's I love having my own little, and I like sharing with everybody. I do like sharing. I like sharing a lot of the things that I do. Um, but it's really cool to be able to look at something and reproduce it. And I can say that it's probably taken me a while to get to the point where I'm actually happy with some of the stuff that I've done. I still have a long way to go for a lot of the things that I do. Ooh, look. That might change a little bit, yeah. So it's coming along, yeah. As you can tell, it looks more like Mick Jagger now. I'm gonna add a little bit more to his lips there at the bottom. As you can tell, it's a little bit. He's got a little bit of. Like that. And he's got a thing down the middle. I gotta make it a little darker there. Can I do it? I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. You tell yourself, I can do it. I can do it. You surprise yourself sometimes. Surprise yourself. You can do it. And people always like when I used to come to my paint events, like, oh, I've never done any painting before. I don't know how. You're setting yourself up for this uh, disappointment. Don't ever set yourself up. Don't have to be disappointed in yourself. Be proud of yourself that you even come out to an event to try. You got to try. If you don't know, if you don't try, right? That's what people say, anyways. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. How about this? I know. This is good. What's this? What's this? Oh yeah, right. Then it goes to there. Kind of like that, you see? And goes to about there. And a little bit across here. And plus, there we go. It's getting there. I'm just, again, I'm pulling off one. It's like plastic. It's like when you get glue on your fingers. And if you're crafty like I am, that's why I'm a witch too. People don't know that. I tell them, shh, I'm a witch too. No, I do the tarot cards, and again, it's all about having an open mind and seeing things in a different perspective. And there's nothing wrong with that. It kind of gets your mind to think in other ways too. That's the thing. When I was young, I went exploring all kinds of different reasons and purposes for being, and I found a lot of interesting information. So, and I love sharing. I like to share as much as I can. How's that looking? Almost. Hmm. That's the thing. God knows all perspectives, but we don't, and sometimes it's hard to find that right one. It takes a while. You have to kind of find it for yourself. Come back to it, if you will. Go. Hey, it's looking nice. It's coming along. Look at that. Oh. Fix that up again. Uh, mhm. That's right. Up again there. And a little bit more. Some of the black. I'm thinking it's one of those things where you keep playing with it until you get to where you want it to be. This looks actually a little bit light and dark. Come along, come along. Uh, dropping work. I have my two colors there. Two colors, the light and the dark. I'm looking at his mouth. So, ooh, 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 not too much. I'm going with that. Okay, how's it look there? Oh, excellent, excellent. And then a little bit right there. Do-do-do-do. There we go. How's that look? It's coming. And then this is over here. It comes to about there. Those lips. You're not the only one that needs lip lotion. You're not the only ship adrift on this ocean. We used to sing that in college. You're not the only one who needs lip lotion. Oh my gosh, have I been here for an hour already? See, time flies when I'm having fun. I didn't even realize. All right. Wow. Okay, golden amber colors the rainbow in the air. Yeah, you know what? I might add some gold into this actually. I've been thinking to add like an extra color into there. Maybe gold is kind of like a something that I should think about putting in there too. Add a little bit of a sparkle to it. I'll think about it. In the meantime, like I've already kept you for an hour. But anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I should go and just continue. I probably should be doing something useful with my time. My hubby's like, you said you're going to be cleaning the office. You're supposed to be cleaning the office. Yeah, I'm cleaning the office. Yeah, I got to do that too. So I'll do that for a little while and then I'll come back and do some more. I got to take a break. So, in the meantime, I hope you have a good one. And if any of this helped with you doing any kind of painting, let me know. And if you have any paintings or any ideas you want me to do, let me know. And if there's something that you find that maybe you're having problems with, you want me to try and talk you through it, talk you off that ledge, you just let me know. I'm here for you too. All right. Let me talk you off the ledge. Because, as my mom used to say, peace, oh brother, with a little bit added. And, you got to be loved,